Now, we don't just do the fun stuff on the channel. I've probably sold close to 100 of these over my time as a car dealer, so I thought, why not do a review on something a bit more everyday? And it doesn't get much more everyday than this, a Vauxhall Mokka X. Now, Vauxhall rebranded it in 2016 to call it the Mokka X because they reckon it's extra everything, extra excitement, extra room, extra height, extra power on the road. But how extra is it? I'm currently sat in a Mokka X Elite nav. Now that's pretty self-explanatory what you get with that. It's a top spec model, but you get a bigger touchscreen on the Elite nav models. Obviously nav as standard. You get fully heated leather upholstery, which they reckon is sports seats, but looking at them here, I don't think they're particularly sporty at all. They call it their compact SUV. Everyone knows it's an MPV, it's a multi-purpose vehicle. It's nowhere near the size of an SUV or the practicality of one. But this is a nice mid-range car, currently competing with stuff like the Renault Captur, the Seat Altec, but I must say, the Renault Captur, the Seat Altec, the Ford Puma even, what do you notice about them cars? They look modern, they look angular, they look 21st century. This is a 2016 car. This is Vauxhall rebranding it and trying to make it a bit more exciting to compete with them cars. If I'm completely honest with you, it looks like a car from 2010. I'd say it was from 2010. I don't think you'd question it. You get these 17-inch wheels, which they just look horrible. They're so boring. It is what it is. They're a cheap car, and they're a cheap car for a reason. This one has got the 1.6 diesel engine. It's pretty much the only diesel configuration you can get in this car now. This is probably the most reliable engine that you could get in the Mokka. The most popular one is probably the 1.4 petrol turbo. You get more brake horsepower. It's obviously a lot more responsive, a bit more linear as well. But in terms of reliability, it did struggle a bit compared to this one. But let's not make two eggs about it. They're a good car to have. If you're, strapped for cash, this does pretty much everything that most modern cars would do. It just doesn't do it in quite a stylistic way. The screen's nice. I would say the dashboard all here is still quite dated. You get a lot of touchscreen and stuff like that now, or it's at least a lot slicker. Think of Ford Sync 5 radio. It's all nice and compact and looks like one unit, whereas this looks like sort of an amalgamation of about 10 different stereos. This display in the middle as well. You get a lot of cars now with digital dashboards and they all look really exciting and nice, and you get the nav in the middle. This has got like a little eco screen there, which gives you a little display of how economical your driving is. Boring! There's got to be a good reason why these cars are so popular, and there is a good reason. There's a lot of engine sizes and specs you can get them in. There's a few different variants and price budgets, but it caters for pretty much every market. If you think about it, how many Vauxhall Mokkas do you see on the road? Absolute thousands. With that gives you cheap parts because it's supply and demand. There's more cars on the road, more parts are being made, and they're easier to come by in a number of different makes as well in the aftermarket. So they are easy to maintain, they're easy to drive, they're out the box, they're reliable. And obviously since Stellantis have come in and took over it entirely, I would have thought they would have done a little bit better on the styling. You get the modern Peugeots and stuff, and they look a lot more angular than these. But generally driving it's okay, it's nice, there's no frills, it's not an exciting car by any means, but it's not meant to be an exciting car. It's all about convenience and practicality, which this car does a good job of. It's just, for me, I think it should be styled a lot better and brought into the modern era. Everything else about it's great. Value, price, driving, it's just a bit drab.